Is that in the shot?
No. It looks like it would be, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
My name is Pat, Deep Dish Bertoletti, and today I'm going to be making my grandfather's polenta recipe. This is a really old recipe. I think it's about 30 years old, and my grandfather on my dad's side is definitely one of my good influences in food, and definitely might be the reason why I'm into food so much. So it's a very simple sauce. I start with a pat of butter. It's only 3 ingredients. His original was just salami and evaporated milk. So I'm going to add onions just for more flavor, but that's the only thing I'm going to change about it. It's like a traditional Italian dish. A nice stew or a nice sauce you're going to serve on polenta, so that's what I'm going to serve it with today, and that's how he would have done it as well. So I have a salami here, just store-bought, the best brand you can buy from the deli or your favorite brand. In this pot, heating up. I'm just going to brown it. A little salt. Probably going to take about 6 minutes, but I'm just going to brown it and give it some nice color. The key to making good polenta is I put a lot of milk or cream, I put a lot of butter, and I put a lot of cheese and salt into it. It's a very, very easy recipe. At this point, the salami's browned nicely on all sides. I'm going to add, this is about a half of a large diced white onion. I really like using this cast iron skillet. I have it cranked up to high. It holds the heat nice. So if you're going to do this at home, just use a really heavy, nice pot. You want to just color the onions, give it a nice brown, and give it a nice. It's going to give a nice sweetness to the final sauce. The onions are brown. I think it's about 7 minutes into it. I'm going to add some fresh black pepper. There is some pepper in the salami, but I just want a little bit more of a bite. And at this point, I'm just going to add the evaporated milk. I think he originally made this out of necessity because I'm not exactly sure why he used evaporated milk, but it tastes good and I'm glad to be sharing this with you. So, the sauce is basically ready. You just need to boil it and reduce it down. Alright, so I have my pot here for polenta. I'm going to put this in the back. And I make a lot of polenta at work. I'm kind of sick of it. But polenta is not really about the polenta itself. You want to flavor it well, but it's more what you put on the polenta. So I have some water here. Usually I follow like a 3 or 4 to 1 ratio, meaning that's how much water to polenta. So I have about a quart of water here. So first I'm going to just put a little bit of heavy cream. Just adds nice richness, flavor. I'm going to add like half a stick of butter. A good pinch of salt. Couple good pinches of salt. And you want this to taste like, not like the ocean, but seasoned very well. Because if it's not seasoned now, it's going to be really impossible to flavor it. You can do this with chicken stock or vegetable base, or just do it with water. The sauce I'm making is very strong flavored, so you really don't need to add that much to it. What I like to do when I make it at work is I use a giant stick blender. So today I have a small one. If you have one of these laying around, I would definitely suggest using it. So with the water going, this is a quick polenta. You could use the better, the coarser. It'll take a little bit longer, but it tastes better. Put it in slowly. I'm eyeballing it, but it is really good to measure it if you haven't made polenta that often. It is going to soak up all this liquid, so you don't want to get too crazy and put too much in. Now we just have to wait for it to come up to temperature. Okay, at this point the polenta is cooked. It took about 8 minutes. It is nice and smooth, you can see, but I do like to just stick this wand to it, smooths out all the lumps, because sometimes it can be really hard to get all the lumps out of polenta. The only thing I'm going to add to finish this polenta is just a little bit of cheese. It doesn't need much because the sauce is really strongly flavored and rich and salty. This is just standard Parmesan Reggiano cheese. You want to move, once you get it ready, you want to move fast because if it sits in the pot, it's going to get cold and make it hard to pour. But at this point, it's nice and liquidy and ready to go. And it's going to sit up, so if you let it sit at room temperature, it'll definitely sit up on you. Just going to put a little bit of fresh lemon juice in, cut the richness, a little more salt, a little bit of cheese. Once you assemble this, you're going to want to let it sit at room temperature for a little bit, because it's gonna burn your mouth if you try to dig in right away. Woo. I'm just gonna put a little bit more Parmesan on top. A little bit of chopped parsley too. There you go. Polenta with salami sauce.